Test, 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 test. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. S, 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 S. It's really professional. What's up, folks? All right. Hey, you're welcome. He said hot chocolate, croissant, and your lovely voice for my breakfast. Crypto morning. You bet your ass. I think the audio's okay. We got 7 people in here. Might give it a couple more minutes. 6 now. All right, guys. Put your coin requests into the chat box. And I will chart them. If you lucky. Audio is solid. Can you believe it? I can hear you. Nice haircut, Playboy. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, I got me a little fade. What's up, baby? Where's the line at? The line, no, right there. I think. One of these sides of my head. He finally looks normal. You mean sexy? You misspelled sexy. Yo, guys, people were in here. Go to my YouTube, retweet this tweet that I put a couple minutes ago, saying, "Join me for a YouTube live stream where I will chart cryptos for you, dash dash space, my beloved peeps." Make sure that works. It do. Okay, we got BTC. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can chart Bitcoin. BTC shorts. I don't know what that is. Okay, BTC Neo Dragon. Almost looks like Vanilla Ice. Wow, you are so sweet. Dude, my hair was cut last weekend. I get my hair cut every 4 weeks. Now, it depends on when I do it, but yeah. See, I'm starting to do my hair, wake up early, do my hair, go into the office. I got office space now. Well, it's a co-working space, but get ready and go to work. So I'm not sitting on my damn ass all day charting stuff and not talking to anybody. 10 people in here. Oh my Lanta. Oh. Anybody retweet this? Yeah, I'd like to see if we can maybe get some Dragon charting and ICX as well. All right. BTC, Neo, Dragon, ICX, LTC. I know you guys are going to want to see TRX. Ito, Ven, Litecoin. I want to do XMR. Um, we're going to need to do Strat because we have an entry in that. EOS because we have an entry in that. I still owe people Sumo and Lux from last time. I feel bad because I told somebody I'd do it last time and I didn't. Because I'm an asshole. But I'm not starting to stream till I get some retweets on my live stream tweet. Yeah, I got no retweets. Hey, you guys want me to start this? Come on, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. I'm not starting this live stream. I'm not charting anything until I have 200 retweets and 200 likes on the video and 400 subscribers. Cash? Yeah, we can do cash. Twitter's in the description. I got you, fam. That's one person. See? Free membership for life. Oh, I got 3. Bam, son. Let's get it, people. Time for a little live session. Come watch, ask questions, whatever floats your boat. Ooh, I like the boat thing there. Okay, one more retweet, and we'll get going. Coin recap. I don't know what that means. Thank you, Lotso Turnbull. This is my list so far. You see that? Retweeted. I retweeted you. Doce? All right, let's get going. Let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin and Litecoin look much the same. Bitfinex. Gonna go to the daily chart. Okay, so when we found, I'll give you guys a quick little lesson on fibs here. When we found a bottom finally, all the way down here, then at that point I drew my fib from bottom to top because we wanted to get over the 236 fib. We did, but then we were denied at it, came back, bounced off it again. That was a good bounce spot. Okay, awesome. Now that we've basically rendered this fib useless because we're back down below the 236 fib, the right fib to draw here from this point would just be from the swing lows from the all-time highs to the recent swing highs. And so with that, we are trying to hold the 886 right now. If you look at the daily chart, the real body candles have established a lower low, but the wicks haven't, and that is what matters. So we're looking to try to put in a higher low here. Let me see if I can make these fib lines a little smaller. Yeah. So looking at this, I had been drawing that this was a pretty significant trend line, and we broke it. However, it's come to my knowledge that I was missing, I guess, another key arbitrary trend line, which would be this, and it is valid. Because you see the exact point that it bounced off of. And then looking at that, we're trying to fight the downtrend line here. We've been able to stay outside of it. This is from all-time highs. Looks like we're moving away from it now. That's good stuff. And we just need to basically, I mean, this would be, guys, this could be our path to an alt season here. If we just go sideways within this, keep putting in higher lows. But Bitcoin needs to hold this spot. It just does. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It needs to hold this spot. So if we go down to the 1 hour, I want to go down to the 1 hour because on the 1 hour, I'm liking some of this price action. This isn't like an inverse head and shoulders or anything like that, right? But if you look at this, you want to see Bitcoin get over this little resistance line here. And then also for the short-term downtrend move to be over, you'd want to see it close outside of this line. It did. That tells you that the swing low dumping is done for now, and we're going to go sideways. So while we're going sideways, this is kind of our natural resistance line. I couldn't tell you what this pattern technically would be called. It's not really anything. You know, we could come down here and make a fall below the moving averages and make a right shoulder. However, I don't want to fall below the moving averages again. That's not, you know, Bitcoin needs to get going on a bounce. So we could call that an inverse head and shoulders. I'm not going to. It'd be looking all wonky like Uncle Fester type shit. But it's trying to hold this 20 EMA. It's bounced above. It's closed above once, confirmed it twice with 2 1-hour candles, and then now it's trying its move. What you guys want to see is this get above this downtrend line, or this resistance line here, downward sloping resistance line, and then it's going to make a move for this 200 moving average. And right now that is on Bitfinex $7,448. Depends on which exchange you're looking at. It'll tell you right on your chart. And I would imagine that would be a short-term zone for a short. You could short to the pullback either, depends on how aggressive you want to get, but to this horizontal resistance, it could bounce off that, come back down, make an attempt for the 200 moving average, come back down to this horizontal resistance, turn support, and then continue on. But you want to see it close above this horizontal support line at, let's call it 72.70, and kind of start to establish some sort of a higher high within a localized pattern, showing that it's moving away from just, okay, it stopped bleeding and now it's going sideways, but now it's moving away from that. It's making the next move up in the market in the short term. And then moving forward, we'll zoom out to the 4-hour. Where do we want to get to? Well, this 50 moving average is just slightly below the, it's like $12 below the 200 moving average on the 1-hour. So that's a point of confluence. That's a point of resistance. And that all kind of is just right above this horizontal resistance line. So it's going to need to work it out there. If it does, we are looking at, let me get a trend-based fib extension here. I want to see what it bounced at. 618 pretty much. That's good. To the 382, 7,500, yeah, that's a point of confluence. The next stop, some people are saying, you know, 7,800, 8,000. What I'm seeing is if it wants to get above the 4-hour 20 and the 4-hour 50, that tells you that the next stop technically would be the 200, which is what, 88.50. And then it's in downtrends during bearish times, guys. It's really hard to climb out of these holes like this. It's really hard to climb out of these holes like this, and it'll take a little while. And by these holes, I mean the next horizontal resistance, and then it becomes like a pit. To climb out of these pits, it's incredibly difficult. There's so many throwbacks to these areas, and then they just fall. So Bitcoin's going to have to go sideways, work through some resistance, chop up some sellers in the market, people wanting to get out at break even. It's going to have to go sideways. So I can't tell you much more than that at the moment. If I were to do a trend-based fib extension from the bottom of the low to the top here, getting denied at the 382. Let me extend this and make these lines a little easier to see. Yeah, it's kind of getting denied at the 382 in this area. The 0.5 lines up perfectly with the 50, and pretty much with the 200 on the 1-hour as well. So as I said, that's, you look for different levels, different time frames that match up with kind of the same price zones, and that's an area of confluence, whether with fibs or with moving averages or with pattern and pattern lines. And this kind of 74, we'll call it 74.50 to 74.70. That entire area is one big resistance point. It'd be probably a good point to do some shorting. I'm not saying we're going to short to newer lows, but I will say that you can get a couple $100 probably on a 10x short below that. So other than that, guys, Bitcoin is definitely bearish, but we are working on putting in a higher low. And when you put on a larger market structure, and when you put in a higher low, we can't call on the bear market yet. Now, if we dump below 6,000, roughness. However, if I go to well, yeah, Turnbull, because the only thing that you have left below the 236 fib at that point is a horizontal resistance at the previous lows. It's just the 0 line. But if I go to my favorites on indicators, and I didn't mark it, BTC shorts versus longs. I'm going to favorite this. And if we look at BTC shorts versus longs, BTC shorts are back below all-time high levels, however they are high, but BTC longs are higher. Now the thing about longs is that you can hold longs for a while. I don't know if just these being Bitfinex, if these are margin longs. I believe these are margin longs. But when you have margin trades, you have to close them. The thing with shorts is that you have to sell back into the market. And these shorts, the number of shorts are still very high. It's not quite all-time high anymore. It has retraced with Bitcoin, pushing a little bit higher from the recent swing lows. Only thing I don't like is, okay, so these shorts swinging from 32,100, 30,200 down to 28,300 and back up here to 29.4, 29.5. These few thousand shorts covering, is that what powered Bitcoin up a few $100s? Because normally when a ton of shorts cover, it powers the market up. So it'll be interesting to see. Shorts and longs are both at higher levels. Now, the longs are not at all-time high levels. Relative to history, they're at a high level, but they're not at all-time high levels. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. It needs to hold this trend line. It does, because if it doesn't hold this trend line, guys, this big blue trend line here, I'll remove this horizontal area, and we'll go back to the day and expand. If it doesn't hold this trend line here, there's no chance in hell this 6,000 is going to hold. We've weakened ourselves. We're below the moving averages on the daily. I mean, this is bearish. Don't get me wrong. This is bearish. We have the death cross. It's kind of the last line into the sand for Bitcoin. And one thing that you want to see here is if we line up our RSI with the all-time high peak, so it'd be right here, and draw a trend line down, you want to see RSI break this little trend line on RSI. You want to see it break through this downtrend line from all-time highs. It tells you the RSI trend is over. So Bitcoin's got some stuff to work through, guys. You want it to go sideways here. It could come up to this 20 moving average, and that's your 7,800 area on the 1 day. So I guess that would be the next area after the hadn't looked at the 20 EMA on the 1 day. That would be your next area after it gets through the 4-hour moving average, 50 moving average, and the 1 hour 200. So it would be this 20 EMA on the daily, and that would probably be a good place to throw in a quick short as well. I mean, we're in a bearish market, even though we're putting in a higher low right now, if we are. So it's easier to short, just like in a bullish market when you buy moving averages. It's easy to short. You're just supposed to turn around and short moving averages in a bearish trend. So Bitcoin's done. I'm gonna look at the questions. Yeah, lots of turnable. You said once you get below the 236 fib, you have to stop using original fib. Is that a question? Yeah, question mark afterwards. I hope I answered that for you. Like, if I were to draw this up to all-time highs, there's a 2-3. I gotta draw high to low. the only thing we would have had to go off of. There you go. There's a 236 fib. We're below it. We've closed below it so many times in the one day. The only thing that you have left at this point is to, I mean, on the way back up, you could draw this again. But in the meantime, while you're looking for support, you could just delete this and put in a horizontal ray. There's your horizontal support once you're below the 236. So Bitcoin's done. I want to go to Litecoin real quick. Litecoin looks much in the same. I want to line things up here. So I've been drawing this market structure for a while. It's kind of a falling wedge. Bitcoin fell outside of it, or Litecoin fell outside of it on the one day for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this fifth day it's finally getting back in there. And the market close is, yeah, it just happened 19 minutes ago. So the daily close back within market structure. This is a falling wedge. The real bodies, much like on Bitcoin, the real bodies of these wicks or of these candles closed below the real bodies of the previous dump. However, the wicks did not close the wick below. So we did not put in a lower low. We put it in a higher low. Not only that, but we're kind of riding this trend line right here, and that's pretty much where we bounce. Now that trend line would have taken us down to, at this point, 106 to 108. Didn't quite get there. Got to 109. I had calls to buy Bitcoin around, or Litecoin around 110 for the private group if anybody bought those. And then, I bought around 114 again. I told everybody to buy. And there's a reason why, is because we're right on this trend line. There is horizontal support here as well. And then the daily RSI is like, dude, you never see Litecoin's daily RSI this low. Look at that. It's the lowest that it ever got down to. Litecoin being a deflationary asset long term, I'm fine with buying key levels like this. This has been a steady uptrend for the longest time. So why would that change now? It would change if we put in a lower low here, but this is good at least for a bounce on this trend line, this horizontal resistance as well. It's good for a bounce. So, and it's bouncing. We'll see where it goes to. It could just fall to hell here. I would have to imagine. I would have to imagine that it'd try to come back up and test this 200, or at least this falling wedge. We'll see. Let's go down to the 4-hour. There's not a ton to say here. We're right near the lows, so a lot of these fibs are rendered pretty useless. I mean, we could draw a fib of the entire chart. Price is, it pretty much bounced above this 786, but the 786 is at $92. Doesn't tell us a whole hell of a lot. Mostly we're riding this trend line right now, guys. Not a ton to say about this, but it does look good. It looks good for, if it can climb out of here, guys, we're looking at a potential huge W bottom basing pattern. I don't know if you can call it that, but sure. So what's it doing right now? It's fighting for the 20 EMA on the 4-hour. 37 minutes to try to get above it without a confirmed close below it. That'd be 2 4-hours candles below. I like my confirmed closes. So it's fighting for it right now. The next stop on the 4-hour would be 127.86. Let me go to the 1-hour, see if I find any confluence in that area. Yeah, 200 moving average on the 1-hour. Excuse me, I have to sneeze. Bless me. 200 moving average. Look at the 127, 128 area for the next resistance. It is on top of the 20 EMA on the 1-hour. Next thing that we want to do is close above the 20 EMA on the 4-hour and get going from here. So, but looking at this, it's looking like a good little pattern here. If I draw a trend line for kind of some short-term resistance, it would be here. So until said otherwise, this is kind of your pattern, guys, until it breaks otherwise. Yeah. Looking at the 4 hour, if we can get above that, the 4 hour 200 moving average is around 166.70. By the time we got there, it'd be closer, probably closer to 170. If we look at the 1 day, that area, yeah. So you'd have to look at the 1 day. The 20 EMA just crossed below the 200, and so your next resistance after kind of the 127, 128 area would be the 20 EMA, because that will be, or the 200 moving average, depending which one's there. If the 20 EMA curls back up, because it's a shorter moving average adjusted for shorter term price volatility by being an exponential moving average. So it probably at that point, it'd be right around the same area. We're looking at about 144 as the next area of resistance, then 165. So in the meantime, I want to see it get over that 127, 128 area to say that we're moving higher. Yeah. So it's got, all you're seeing, guys, is that these coins have a lot of shit to work through. Let's look at NEO. Barf. It's at the 786 on the 1 day. 786 is a very common reversal spot in crypto. 786 or 886, that's what we always look at, 786 or 886. If we were to do a trend-based Fibonacci, come on, quit trolling. From the all-time highs to the swing lows to the recent highs, we're right at the 786 of the trend-based Fibonacci. That tells you that this is an energy point. This is probably a good area to pick up some NEO. The 1 day RSI is at 28, and the 1 day RSI is, this chart's going to get messy for a second, but you need to see this confluence of factors. Lower low on price, higher low on RSI. That's a bull div. That's a reversal divergence. It's not a bad place to have picked up some NEO. Now, the place that it bounced, the 786, was around $44, so you're getting it 15% higher now. But that 786 of the entire chart is at 49.18, 49.19. It's right around that area right now, about 65 cents lower than that. This isn't a bad spot to pick up some NEO. Now, where would I get stopped out at? I wouldn't. I'd just hold it for gas, because it stakes gas and pays you a dividend. If you have more than a little, it's worth it to at least hold. But the next place that I look to pick it up is on this trend line, and you bet your ass it'll bounce on this trend line. Now, that divergence would be played out and it would go away because RSI would go lower. But on this trend line, high 30s, mid to high 30s would be the next area to pick it up. But this is such an extended chart that, and it's such a great project, this is oversold as shit. Buy and come back in a month. This is not financial advice. But, there's some areas here that we look to. So, it tells us that the 20 EMA is at $64. That's very far away from price right now, so we need to zoom in to the lower time frames to find some shorter term areas to look for. So it's trying to cross the 4 hour 20 EMA. It's been denied the first attempt. Well, multiple attempts, but since the lows, this is the first attempt. If it gets past that, we're looking at $53. Okay, and after that is the 200 at 79, or at, 79.41. Not yet. Okay, trying to get above the 200, or the 20. 20's crossed the 50 on the 1 hour, or it's crossing. It has crossed. That's positive. And the highest peak. It's above kind of the short-term downtrend line. This is a good sign. Next resistance, as we said before, kind of the 53.50 area. 200 moving average on the 1 hour. On the 4 hour, that is the 50 moving average area. Point of confluence, we also have some fib resistance. I don't know, we don't. What the fuck am I talking about? No, we don't. Okay. So this tells you that, okay, first off, this is a spot it would bounce at, right? It's oversold. There's a bull div. We're next to the trend line, much like Litecoin. It didn't get there like Litecoin. Litecoin got closer percentage-wise than NEO did, but it's close. But we're looking at 2786 bounces, okay, of the entire chart, and from all-time highs to the recent lows to the swing highs of the recent highs from that down to, and then you just draw it down. So I'll draw that with you guys here. All-time highs, swing lows from all-time highs, swing lows from all-time highs, and there you go. It lines up perfect. Well, it bounced at the 786. Reversals at the 786 go to the 382, are supposed to, but you usually get bounces. That's a point of confluence, and it's near that trend line. Not only that, but if you line up one thing that is good to do is try to line up, let me get my horizontal ray ready first, okay, there's a horizontal line from a previous peak. Well, it's fighting for that. It gets above that. It can dip below and come back above. But we're looking at, this is a point of confluence, guys. Those lines match up perfectly for a reason. Because this is an energy point. And you look at RSI with it being below 30 on the daily, and with there being a bull div, this is a lot of confluence, a lot of factors that are saying the same thing. It's not, your bias doesn't take over here. Yeah, we're biased because we're here in cryptocurrencies to buy shit, and we're here in cryptocurrencies to make money. And that's, we didn't say, oh my God, I want to own NEO and Ethereum and Bitcoin and Litecoin because I want to short them or I want to sell them. You're here because you want to buy them, you want them to go up in value, you want to change the world, you want to save, sell them for a ton of money and do your thing. Well, that's your bias, but let the chart speak to you. Be unbiased when you go to the chart. This tells you that it's right next to this trend line. You have the trend-based fib, you have the entire chart fib, you have this horizontal line. RSI has a bull div. RSI on the daily is oversold. And that bull div is on the 4 hour, and that bull div is on the 1 day as well, right? So these are like 7 factors that tell you that this is probably due for a bounce. And if you want to pass the chart test for dummies and zoom out and just go to the 1 day, this would tell you that, this move right here, minus 69%, classic, is ridiculously oversold. And it's consecutive, okay? So how many days is that? 69 bars in 69 days. 69% in 69 days. I don't know what else you want. I don't know what else you want. I don't know what else you want me to tell you. Buy the shit out of it. Oh man, I'm gonna get emotional real quick. Whew. Oh man, what a time to be alive. I will tell you what a time to be alive. That is wild. I'm about to freaking retire. You want to talk about stumbling on a unicorn? 69 bars in 69, or 69% in 69 days. Shit. That's NEO for you. It's a sign. RDD and Onion. 2 coins I would never chart, but you called me daddy. EDT. Isn't that like a drug or something? The hillbillies. All right, let me get my Koinage up. Actually, we're just going to have to go to KuCoin to chart. There's Dragon. Oh, 58 cents. You've got to be kidding me, right, Meow? All right, first things first. I'm the realist. That's a Kid Cudi line. All right, come on now. You just knock it off. There we go. Who draws fibs like this? God, why is that? Make it clean, son. Whatever. It's being ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Oh. Cool. And volume. And trend line. Yikes. Not a lot to see here, boys. I mean, you would be pretty much looking at it. A fundamental analysis on this one. It's oversold as shit. Let me put RSI on there. Let's go to the 1 day. Yes. That div played out. No div. The only thing to really see otherwise with this is that it is most definitely on key horizontal support. This is Dragon right here, guys. This is about the only damn thing I can give to you. Let me pull this back so I can make sure it is, this daily support is exact. Yeah. It's that, I mean, that's all I can tell you. There's no divergences. There's nothing crazy. It's bearish, but it's on this key horizontal support. This would be an accumulation level. It's 58 cents. Okay, they've got some big stuff coming up. We're talking about a blockchain incubator for businesses. Their team's phenomenal. They're working on the project. They got a great roadmap, a great team. I mean, it's Dragon 58 cents. What else do you want me to say? Yeah, but Michael, it doesn't have the entire history of Dragon on CoinKey like it does on KuCoin. It's only from the day that they listed it on KuCoin. Noah, you think Aunt? You think Aunt is gonna blow? I don't know what Aunt is, man. I'm kidding. Yes, I do, and I will chart it. Let's look at ICX. Coming up on the trend line, and then 236 fib of the entire chart. Bottom from the beginning to the all-time high. Now, if we the 27,179 is the 786 fib of the entire move. 786 reversals would go to kind of the 382 area. That could be a really good risk reward. I'm holding. I don't give a shit. I'll hold this. I don't care if it gets down here. I don't even care. I'm not looking at it. I don't care enough. It's in my long-term bag. Otherwise, it reverses the 786 fib, or the 236 fib, which inverse would be 786 area. I think. Let me delete. What the hell am I doing? There we go. Yeah, 786 fib, told you. Right on the trend line. Yeah, I guess that'd be the next area to pick it up. Had a nice bounce. Just is eating shit since. It's got to turn sometime. We've had one green day in the last 23 days. What the hell am I doing? 9 days. Jesus. It's got to turn. Next bounce could pull this 200 moving average, or this 20 above this 50 on the 1 day. It's got some shit to work through. Let's look at the US dollar chart, see what that tells us. Same shit at the 886, holding on right now. Avril Lavigne style. I swear to God, TradingView. There we go. So it's below the 886. You know, sniffing around some stuff here that we could do with this. If you get a chance to get it around $1, have fun. You know, it's also holding on. It's not just the 886 fib, guys. It's also kind of this horizontal support. I mean, it's pretty much all-time low since it listed. It listed at $1, but that was a quick wick down, and then, you know, the next days, it's not really. I mean, this is, for all intents and purposes, is pretty much the lows. It's a great place to pick it up. It's freaking icon, man. They haven't even announced their staking. Nothing. They haven't done their coin swap yet. Pick it up. US dollar chart says pick it up. If it goes lower, trust me, this is going to be a very distant memory. It's going to look like that. Woo! And then looking long term. Yeah. 29, 33, 41, 54, 58. It'll happen. No, Michael, I think this is the entry, man, to be honest with you. Anything lower than this, I don't know, 0? I mean, you guys have to understand with Dragon, it's only on KuCoin right now. I don't know if it's on some other shitty like Ether Delta or something like that, but it's only on KuCoin. KuCoin has liquidity problems. It's not a big exchange, and so when it gets listed on, okay, so when Dragon drops their blockchain and their platform, and they're no longer just an ERC20 token, but they're a utility token, then Bittrex will list them. There you go. This is a fucking steal at these levels. Take the long view on some of these. Let's look at the greatest coin in the entire cryptosphere, TRX. Woohoo! Look at that. Look at that call. Beauty. All right. Had a rising wedge. Fell down to the 618. It's a common catch area on rising wedge falls. Oh, ho, ho, it's magic. You know. Yeah. 50 moving average on the 1 day as well. Trying to close above it. 618 reversals go to the 382. Caught it here. 537 sats. Moving forward. In the big picture, it got below the 786. Didn't quite get to the 886. 886 go to 0.5. 786 go to 382. Somewhere in this area. 1,029 to 1,269 in the short term. 1,200 and what? 69. If this alt season continues. I think they have like a mainnet launch in middle of April or something like that. Let's look at the 4 hour. They can provide more clues. KLEWZ clues. Bounce on the 200 moving average on the 4 hour, which was also the 1 day 50 moving average. And also the 618. That's the area of confluence. That's what we picked out to buy. Kind of looks like a 4 hour W bottom. On the 1 hour probably looks even more like that. Yes. Looking nice. Next area would be the 382, 537 sats. That is the 200 moving average on the 1 hour. Let's look at the 4 hour. 50 moving average is right above that, so that's an area of confluence. Now I have to get above this 4 hour 20 EMA. But it's a looking good. Yeah. I think it's good for 537 minimum. We'll reevaluate after that. The 1.618 trend base from the swing lows to the recent highs to where it bounced. 1.618 is a common fib extension area. That's kind of the 1,000 sat area that we said. Yeah. If we have an alt season, I could definitely see it. If you want to get in, you could buy on a breakout of 5. 06. Or just ride the 15-minute 20 EMA, but I would say ride the 1 hour 20 EMA. Buy the next bounce to the 1 hour 20 EMA. Close some of your position at the 200. It's not a perfect area to buy right now. It's in between a bunch of areas. Here's other trades. It's looking like a really good chart though. These aren't the areas that you necessarily buy. You know, it's 53 sats past our original buy. Or 50 exactly, we bought 451. It's like an eat out. This is kind of a cool little project. It's like an exchange and a wallet. Fucking hate these charts. Okay, so I drew a fib from the bottom to the highs. We almost bounced to the 1.272 fib. Didn't quite get there, but we bounced. And so we kind of had this ascending triangle, bull pennant, call it what you want to call it. And then it kind of broke out, but then it's retesting it. So a good area to buy this would be on the 1 hour 20 moving average, 20 EMA. But overall, it looks like a great chart. It really does. We bought at up to 2150, all the way down here. You know, you could ride, if you're in, guys, your stop area would be a break below this 200 moving average on the 1 hour, which also coincides with the trend line. Ride it up. Let's look at Ven. Ooh, Ven looking good. A lot of these altcoins are looking good. All right, so if we go to the 1 day on Ven and zoom out, you guys can see I've been charting the shit out of some charts. One thing that I immediately like when I look at Ven, so we match up the peak on the RSI with price. It's right there. Grab a trend line. And as long as it closes above here, come on now. You gotta be for gosh darn ridiculous. Let's make it perfect. All right, so one thing to notice is that this portion that's sticking straight up, this erect RSI line right here, this can close back below or damn near close to it if it has a dump. So looking at the daily, you've got this big falling wedge, which is almost like some sort of pennant, right? And it's within it. It was denied at the 50 moving average on the 1 day, and now it's below the 20 EMA on the 1 day. So what would I do here? I'd probably wait, but let's look at the 4 hour. It's also coincided with the 618 of the entire chart. Right on the 20 EMA. Just keep riding that 1 hour 20 EMA, guys. But, you know, it's going to be, I don't want to say tough, but it's going to be a big deal when the 1 day closes outside of this pennant. And then if it could just get on top of the 50 moving average, this falling wedge, excuse me, if it could just get on top of this 50 moving average, that looked like a bear flag, called it from a mile away. It's got some work to do. But it bounced to the 618. But now, you know, it wicked all the way up to the 50 moving average in the 1 day, but it's below the 50 and the 20 EMA. It's got some work to do. Now I'm saying it could put in a rounding pattern here for show. It could put in a rounding pattern here for sure. But it's not out of the woods yet. It's still within market structure. And that's something that you guys definitely want to look for candle closes. You don't want to look for just wicks for these reasons right here, these false breakouts. And something to note, 1, 2, third touch of the trend line, false breakout. I swear to God, it happens like 75% of the time. Except for the downside, 1, 2, 3. Candle closes and then confirmations of additional candles that yes, this is what's happening with the trend. This is what's happening with the price action outside of this market structure that protects you from false breakdowns. And understanding little things such as watch out on third trend line touches, whether it's support or resistance trend line. Watch that third trend line could be a fakey breaky. So just little stuff like that. Keep adding to your bag. Take notes. Reversals at 618s go to 382s typically. That would put us at 51,719. There's a big psychological number of 50,000 sats that it couldn't quite get over a couple times. Here. It held it all along here, finally dumped below, but then jumped right back above. Couldn't get above here, couldn't get above here. I think 50K is a bigger level than 51,719. And obviously, it's going to need to get above that 382 at 51,719. But 50K on the way back up is no joke. But it's got to get above the 20 EMA on the 1 day, the 50 moving average on the 1 day. Obviously the 0.5 fib on the 1 day, but outside of this falling wedge as well. So you have a list of criteria that tells you, hey, if it starts doing this, we know it's going higher. But in the meantime, you can sit back and watch, see what happens, and then if it does break out, you just buy the retest. Like I'll show you guys what we did today. Some of you guys were in here watching it. It was all the way up here. Let me go to the Telegram. In Telegram, I said buy the 1 hour 20 EMA now. It was coming back down. It wasn't quite there. 37K sats. Immediate target is right before the 382 fib line, right around 39K sats. And by the time the buy triggered, within 15 minutes, it bounced right on the 1 hour 20 EMA. Literally touched it in a special spot. And then the 382 was from the bottom of this move to the top of this move. That's at 39,443. I said just put it right before 39,000. Get your order filled. And you bet your ass 39,035 was the high. We all got out on that one. You come back, buy the 1 hour 20 EMA again. Sell a partial up here. Put your stop at below the 618, 36,700-ish sats. Try to capture the rest of the move. Come back, take the profits that you had. Now buy right on the 1 hour 20 EMA again. And then you're obviously going to want to see, excuse me for chewing on my pen, but you're going to want to see kind of these. There you go. That's not an end-all, be-all, but it tells you the move is progressing. And then you're going to want to see, on these moves like this, guys, you only have the data points to work with that you have to work with, which is this really janky kind of downtrend line here. But it's a resistance line. It moved sideways, it moved out of it, and now it's trying to move higher. But the 20 EMA, when it's lined up right, is your best friend in trading. It's your absolute best friend in trading. You'll look at your indicators less. You'll just start looking at moving averages. Because think about it. If price is above moving average, you have to look at the bigger picture. But it tells you that price is outpacing normal price action, right? If it's below it, price is outpacing normal price action to the downside. It's just market psychology. The velocity of the price action is more than the average of the last 20 periods of the price action. It tells you more buying power is going on right now. The trend is your friend until the end. Now, you can have a trend on a 5-minute chart that's completely different than a trend on a daily chart, and you just play it to the end, and you know that. All depends on your time frames, but you have to pay homage to the bigger time trend, which is it's been bearish since the all-time highs, but it didn't even close below the 618. Vens performed a lot better than a lot of other ones, and a lot of that was because of the nodes, the strength node thing that they had March 28th or something like that. I can't remember, March 21st something. But here she goes trying to move. It's a bullish chart, guys. And Ven is only 272. Chart looks the exact freaking same, except the bounce to the 786. It's freaking amazing. That tells you where we're at in our trend. US dollar. It got up to 967-ish. 972 almost. Now it's at 272. Big things in the pipeline. People love this product. This project. Long term is a slapper for sure. All right, Monero. I was liking Monero's chart. I was looking through it this morning when I was in bed. I think it broke. Look at that. It's basically on that trend line, much like Litecoin is. Yes, delete that. Delete that. A little bit of a bull div. All right. It's below the moving averages. Okay, so it's bearish on the 1 day. Let's go down to the 4-hour. And now you start to see some sort of, it's almost like a falling wedge. This is what I was seeing this morning. Call that a bearish pennant. On every other thing I've ever seen, that looks like a falling wedge though. But it's right on this trend line. Okay. At the end of the previous market cycle, to this one, right at the 786 fib. Some confluence. If you go down to the 1 hour, starting to get this little basing pattern. It needs to get moving. But there's some key levels here. Much like NEO, trend line, 786 fib. Kind of a falling wedge. Some would call it a bearish pennant. I think it looks like a falling wedge. And then if you respect the overall trend of Monero, it's been incredibly bullish. Elliott Wave people would say 1 down, 2 down, 3. Your 5 impulsive legs, and then what? A, B, C or something? I don't know how they count that shit, but it's incredibly arbitrary. All I know is this has been an incredible trend that I don't think is going to stop anytime soon. It could, but it's at the 786 fib. This would be a buy spot. All right. I think LTC is making another move up. Yep. Which means Bitcoin made a move up. 50 bucks. All right, here we go. Above that downtrend line. It's nice. Fuck Facebook. 155, you asked for it. It's like a strat. If you have a higher tolerance for risk, we got in straight on this trend line. It immediately bounced up from 50,000 sats to 55. Still in profit. Two really quick. It bounced off the 886 fib line from the bottom to the top of this ridiculously weak previous market cycle. It only 4x'd, 5x'd. Bullshit. But two stop levels. A one-day close below this trend line. I would build in a loss here, guys, and just let this close on a one day below the 886, and then you can get out. It's up to you. Those are two stop levels, trend line or 886 fib of the most recent market cycle. Give everything right back, you piece of shit. EOS. We're shitting in high cotton on EOS. EOS. So let me delete this blue here. Much like VEN, it bounced to the 618. Tells you it's an incredibly bullish project. Tells you the icon is shit and junk. This was the move that we spotted and bought. Got pretty much the exact bottom almost. And now, guys, it's above the one-day 20 EMA. 20 EMA has crossed the 50. This is bullish price action. You want to see it get above this 382 at 85,481 on a one-day close. And even better yet, I would wait for it to get above 88,000 sats on a one-day close. And then it's game on. It's already game on. Our entry price was 56,000 sats. Four-hour. It's trying to ride this wild pony called the 50 moving average. Get back on top of the 20 EMA. 20 EMA is on top of the 50. 20 and 50 are on top of the 200. That tells you it's a bullish trend. That's backed up by the 20 is on top of the 50 on the one day. There is no 200-day moving average printed on the one day yet. Hasn't been around long enough, at least on Binance. It's defeated the downtrend line. We can delete that. We had a freaking trend line I wasn't even paying attention to. I gotta see shit like that. It's my fault that it bounced off of as well. So, ride this pony into the next market cycle, guys. Go to the 1 hour. Looking for price action velocity to pick up to pull this 20 EMA back above this 50. But the macro trend is your friend. 1 day and 4 hour are bullish. Pump it, ride the 4 hour 20 EMA. Let's go over to Coinigy and look at Lux. Getting a rounded bottom pattern. We're on top of the 20 EMA. On the daily, this is a full market cycle retrace. Went back to the 886 fib. Tells you it wants to go to the 0.5, 180,000 sats. From the, that'd be a 4.5 times. Maybe a 3.5 times. Something like that. 3.6 times from the 886 fib. Go down to the 4 hour. Getting denied at the 200 moving average. Guys, my moving averages are where it's at. What's Nick Dukes? I didn't use a combination of EMA and MAs. I used all EMAs. But combination, putting MAs instead of EMAs in there, except for the 20 is where it's at. So it's getting denied at the 200. On the 1 hour, 20 is above the 50. 20 and 50 are above the 200. You know, you can buy back at the 1 hour 20 EMA. Target, 180,000 sats. Let's look at Samo. Delete, delete, move down, go to the 1 day, hide the cloud. I hate Koiniki. I fucking hate Koiniki. Doesn't save anything. EMA. Okay. Let's fib this. Still holding Sumo. I don't care about these microcap coins. I'll just hold them. 886 fib retracement. 42,394 sats. There you go. Extra bytes. I love this project. It bounced on the trend line. Retraced to the 0.5 fib zone. Looking for continuation. I'm holding this project for a while, guys. I think it could be better than Nano. I dropped my pen too. Oh no. Let's go back and do cash. Love this project. Great bottom formation. Oh, just missed our freaking buy zone. Versus the 786. I got some of the 786. But my majority of my buys are at the 886. It's pulled the 1 day 20 EMA to the 50 and it has crossed it. I can affirm it has crossed it. It's above the 236, the current move. This puppy is an ascending triangle. That's a 4-hour ascending triangle. Hell yeah, it is. It's coming to an energy point soon. On a breakout, buy it. Fuck it, buy it now. It's on the trend line. This is going to pop. Is there a volume spike recently on the 1 day? No, no volume spike yet. Huh. That's an ascending triangle, though. Looks good. Let's try to find an entry. I mean, it's going to try to get back above the 20 EMA, so you'd want to see a 4-hour close above the 20 EMA. But it did bounce on the 236, which is the immediate bounce point for a continuation of the move. That's really good. It didn't get on the retrace below the 0.5, which is your last line in the sand. So you would go from this peak, or from the swing low, it's from the all-time highs. Let me eliminate volume real quick, guys, sorry. And expand this. So here's how this goes. You know, you have this dreadful drop. Bounced at the 786, almost got to the 86, didn't. Awesome. We did have a bullish reversal. It stalled at the 200 moving average at first, and if we were to draw a fib there, I would guess that would probably be the 382. Just below the 382. You guys can't see that really, but it's just below the 382. It never closed below the 382. Cool. So yeah. So you had all the way up here. And so we drew the fib from the bottom, the swing bottom from the all-time highs, to the recent highs or the highest point of the first point of this move. It didn't get past the 200 moving average or below the 0.5 fib. So the 0.5 fib is going to be your last line in the sand for continuation of the current move, right? It can go 618. Those are really messy when it gets to the 382 and it just goes blah, and what happens there determines the trend. But when it bounces the 0.5, doesn't close below, and it also doesn't close below the 200 moving average, that's going to tell you that the current move has a good chance of continuing. So, and then you look at that and you see kind of this ascending triangle formation here. This looks good. As a matter of fact, I'm going to set an alert for when this breaks. Greater than, create. Let me know. Or we'll make this one orange. No, we won't. We will make it red. And we'll right click on it and click add alert less than. Create. Perfect. Now, what would be our target for this? 786 reversals go to the 382, 12449. Does that line up with a measured move? Literally perfectly. There you go. It's good shit. I like it when stuff lines up like that. Yeah, just south of 12.5. Where do you enter? I could have you enter here with a stop below 81.88. Stop below 8,000 sats. This is not financial advice. I could have me enter below or here for a stop below 8,000 sats. Key psychological level protects you kind of from a wick. It's not that key of a psychological level, but there's only 8 of those 1,000 sat mile markers. Kind of protected by the 236, the 50 moving average in the 4 hour, and that round number. As arbitrary as that is, try to protect from where putting it where some buy walls could be to keep the price propped up. Let's go back to here. Somebody asked for RDD. This is Redcoin, I believe. All right. This previous market cycle reversed probably the 786, 886, excuse me. And this one's probably the 786. Yep. Okay, we like that. Did this one do any work at the 786 on the previous market cycle? Not really. Isn't this a dead project? Here's your downtrend line. Right up against it. There you go. There's your market structure. Protected by the 786. Right above the 200 moving average on the daily. No shit. What's Cloud say? Yeah, you're bearish. Huh. 126 sats would be your target. But it wouldn't quite get there because it would line up with, you're not going to get out of this hole in the first try of this wick. 120 sats would be your first target. I don't hate Kook or Koiniki. There's some things about it that I like. Not much else. Onion, I believe that's deep onion. Just a privacy coin. Oh my god, yes. Right below the 86 of the entire chart. This debuted in November. I'm going to take this time to teach you guys something. So forget all this above here. Let me strengthen these fib lines. You know, you buy into something and you're freaking out and you see these gains up here. You see it get all the way up to 60,000 sats and then dump down to 30,000, in half, and you're freaking out. You probably, let's say you bought down here and you panic sell and then it immediately takes off, right? It's something that a newer person would do and that I certainly have probably done before in the past when I didn't know any better. But you start to, draw this pattern here. Okay, kind of wedgy-ish. Is there a trend line here? Yes, there is. Bang, bounce right on that trend line. Don't look at price, look at market structure, guys. It didn't close below the 618. So, it did close below the 0.5, so that would tell you that the immediate move is over. It doesn't say that the immediate move cannot continue. It's just that it's got some shit to work through first, going from the 618 to the 382. But if you look at this, it has this trend line. It's kind of a falling wedge, which tells you that it's a reversal pattern to the upside. And it didn't close below the 618, which tells you at least price should get to the 382, which is 30% higher than where the 618 is. So it's 30% more profit. Don't freak out when shit like this happens. The market's designed to take money from you. Find trend lines, find patterns, find key fib levels. We just fibbed this entire move right here, and you would see it, fall 50% of its value and freak out. Don't do that. Just play market structure. You had a trend line here. It bounced on it perfectly within a bullish reversal pattern to the upside, and then took off again. And I guarantee a lot of people sold their shit and freaked out and walked away and said, that's not fair. This is a manipulated market. It's not. People just put a shit ton of buys on this trend line here. They cleared the order book all the way down selling it. Everybody, the smart money bought back in on this trend line, 618 fib level, and off she goes again. Sellers are exhausted. Just something to learn there. I hope that makes sense. But overall, this chart is looking juicy. Even though I think it's a dead coin, it's below the 886. You could just buy this for next market cycle and walk away. No volume profile at all. The next green volume candle would be the first in a while of any significance over the volume moving average. Maybe not. But you'd want to see it put in a higher low here, get back above this 886, and start doing this rounded pattern here. Your target would be 70,800 sats, 0.5 fib level. EDT. I don't have that. Can't chart it for you. Sorry. And ONT. Put a call out earlier in today for this. LMNOT. Looking for a measured move. Oh. It's looking great. Oh, Juan. 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 Looking for a measured move up to just shy of 49,000 sats on this one. It's in this bullish pennant, clear as day, or symmetrical triangle, call it what you will. But symmetrical triangles aren't technically bullish, but this is a bullish pattern. You have a long flagpole, series of higher lows, series of lower highs. It's consolidation, right? Kind of a W. Some people may want to call this a head and shoulders pattern. I'm not going to, because the right shoulder doesn't line up with the rest, with the left shoulder. Not only that, but the wick of the left shoulder is much higher than the wick of the head. Even though you want to look at real bodies, the left shoulder close is higher than the head. That is not a head and shoulders pattern. This is call it a pennant. She's going higher. Oh, look at that. Measured move lines up perfectly to 1.618. I fucking quit. What more do you guys want from me? Okay? I'm out here doing the Lord's work. Measured move lines up. I hadn't even done that yet. It lines up perfectly with the 1.618 extension. So if you're an Elliott wave person, that would be your second impulse move to the top. You technically have one more. And you would put a rebuy back at 37,000 sats. Only the best traders can do Elliott waves. I don't mock the best traders doing them. But you have people on YouTube doing Elliott waves, and you're like, dude, you know what the hell you're talking about. Perfect. Here you go. Where do you buy? Pretty much here. Stop below 27,000 sats. Or even 0.5 of the current move. I mean, if you're playing, look at it this way. If you're playing with 5% of your stack, and you buy in at 29,274, stop below 24,500 sats, 20%, you lose 1% of your stack. And you stand to gain, 4.5%. 4.5 risk, 4.5 risk to reward ratio. It's good. Anything over a 3 or 4, traditional traders tell you is a good setup. $48,000 divided by 29,000. I don't know, something like that. 4 to 1. It's a good risk reward ratio. Not only that, but this coin hasn't pumped yet, and you're waiting for price to get above. I don't have a horizontal on my favorites. Kind of this zone right here. 36,000 sats. It doesn't matter. You could buy here. What's the 1 hour tell us? Okay. Yeah, it bounced off of 200. Pretty much. Yeah, you could comfortably probably buy here. If you have a lower risk tolerance, put your stop below 27,000 sats. Well, let's delete this because this is a fib extension, not a fib retrace. I'll give you a better zone. Oh yeah. Below 25,000 would be a higher risk tolerance stop on a 4-hour close. 4-hour close, not wick. Or if you have less of a risk tolerance, you don't want to see it lose the 200 moving average on the 1 hour. Or the 382 would be 27,500 sats on a 4-hour close. But you could buy here. You're not risking much. We'll go to Juan, and then I'll get to some comments or questions. Oh, yeah. She looked good. Can you guys tell I've been doing some charting? I always do charting. I chart a million coins. That is the chair. That was not my butt. Oh, that was the chair. See? Chair. Okay. Okay, so dropping into the market, finally listed, tons of hype, awesome project, right into a falling wedge. People in the ICR are like dumping their shit, right? Trying to get their money. The market's crashing. Blah, they took their jobs. Breaks out of there. Now we're in a consolidation pattern. It's kind of like a bullish penny. You have a long flagpole, and then a series of kind of higher lows, I guess. But either way, it doesn't matter because if we fib this, you're going to want to fib this from the lows to the recent spike. And it's basically trying to hold the 0.5 fib right here, which is also 200 moving average. I bet you it holds this. Right now is a buy zone. And even that, it's at 44,887. Your stop could be below, we'll call it 43,000 sats. So 42,900 just on a wick, not on a candle, not on a close. Because I think if it goes that low, it's not. It's up to you. You got to manage your own trades actively. But one thing to notice, guys, is this is where fibs are your friend. So, looking at this chart for the first time, right? We want to find out, okay, how can I fib this? This first candle, market makers print those candles, big high buys, clearing the first order book on sells, just to fuck with the chart, okay? So forget that. We want to look at the first price action. So what we're going to do, we're going to draw from the first low to the first high. There you go. And put on 1.272, 1.618, okay? 2 fib levels below. And you can expect that, with it first entering the market, that it's going to dump that low. People they've been holding their money for months. They probably hit just a 3x to 5x to 10x just by default from the ICO. They want to take their profits because they're morons. And this profit's going, or this coin's going to the freaking moon. So it basically held this 1.272 line. This is the 6 hour. If we look at or this is the 1 hour. If we look at the 4 hour, we'll see what the candles really did. Okay, so you had one close back above. You never had two confirmed closes below. That tells you everything you need to know. So, knowing that, we're going to delete this, and we're just going to draw. Well, let's look at our first fib extensions. Let's look at extensions real quick. Looking at 70,000 sats. 59,000 sats would be the first spot, but 64, 70, 83, 89, 102. Yeah, this one's going to moonshot. This is an undiscovered market. It has a lot of price discovery to go through. But let's go to the 4 hour and let's draw, because it'll be cleaner. Let's, fib this together. Draw from the lows to the recent swing highs and zoom in. Let's go back to auto. And it's trying to hold the 50 moving average on the 4 hour, which is also coincides with the 200 moving average on the 1 hour, and then the 0.5 fib line. Yeah. And then you have a false breakout, one touch, two touch, third breakout, false breakout. I think it'll probably spike here. So yeah, it's a good buy zone. You have your stop criteria, you have your active trade criteria. And if you don't want to get stopped out and you just want to hold this coin because you, like me, think it's going to the moon, if you have, if you stay liquid with your stack, which is something that I do preach, is staying liquid, to some degree. Obviously, you want to have holdings and spread it across and diversify. But, if you have not all of your portions of long-term holdings locked up yet, and not all of your quick flip stack locked up, if you want to buy this to see where it goes, but then it dumps a little bit below and you don't want to take the loss because long-term you see that this is going somewhere, you can move that portion of your portfolio from a quick flip portion to a long-term hold portion. It's up to you. All right, let's get some comments. Hope you guys like this. OMG, is it alt season now? It's looking good. OCN. I did OCN earlier today. I actually made an altcoin call on it. On KuCoin, even though I know it's on Huobi, I don't have a way to chart Huobi. Okay, so looking at this, let me look at the HitBTC chart. Okay, so KuCoins is longer. I'm taking it this is the only price action. If Huobi has a different looking chart than this, I'm sorry. I would guess that this would be the 1.272 area of a retrace. I don't remember what I said earlier because I chart a million coins a day. Settings, 1272. Didn't even get there. Okay, so no big deal. We'll delete this then. What you had is a gigantic spike. I'm assuming that's when it dropped to the market. People were super bullish on it. It happened during the KuCoin bull season, so easy pump. And then, you know, everything died and retraced to hell. I don't want to say died because that's so damn harsh, but yeah, it's in this big accumulation pattern. And right off the top, there's only a couple things you guys need to see. It's this long, drawn-out, rounded bottom. You have this, let me get my paintbrush out. You have this rounded bottom. Why is that black? Okay, why the hell would they do that? Okay, this rounded bottom, and then we'll go back to our crosshairs and delete this. And then zoom in, go to auto, and you have this climbing pattern. Kind of this ascending triangle pattern. Much like we saw on what coin was that? Was that Edo? Edo, I believe? I don't remember. I think it was Edo. But we saw an ascending triangle pattern look just like this earlier. It was cash. It was cash. Yeah. So, and then not only that, but if we scale this price in, look at these gigantic volume candles. Okay. And then we go back to the 1 day, go back to auto, and you see this rounded bottom backed by gigantic volume candles. The pump's getting ready to start. I know this one has some bullish sentiment news, fundamental news coming around it as well. But yeah, this one's, I believe, is getting ready to pump. It's kind of right on this trend line. Now, my guess is this is the 0.5 fib retrace level. Yep. So, another lesson for you guys. We'll go down to the 4 hour so it's more apparent. And we'll hide volume real quick. Okay. So, when I'm drawing my fibs like this, I'm going to draw to the first point in this situation. So right here. I'll draw it out to the right so that the prices are away from price action. But I'm drawing it to here, not to this peak. Why is that? Because this is a false breakout of this original peak. All right, so it has this horizontal resistance. It has this horizontal resistance. Even if I delete this here, okay, awesome. It bounced on the 0.5 line. That's what we want. But it has this horizontal resistance line. And it shot above, but came right back to below. Couldn't even close above it on a 4 hour. So that gave us some market structure, which is nice, which means that I should also, there you go, third touch of trend line. But yeah, so I don't draw my fib in this situation to this peak. I draw it to this one because that was a false breakout of this peak. Just to let you guys know. So yeah, I think it looks good. You can buy on the 1 hour 20 EMA. I don't have that on here right now. I'm not going to add it. Stop below the 0.5 fib or the 0.618 if you have a higher risk tolerance. So 121 or 111. If we're looking at targets, once it gets above 193, she's going to fly. Fly. I'll probably do a trend-based Fibonacci extension for this one. So low, high, low. 1.618, 267. 1.272 is probably, yeah, 236 to 267. Right around there. You can get a 2.618 at 357. But I'd say the 1.618, 267 is probably the highest likelihood if we're going to have an alt season. And of course, once that pumps and we have more price action, I can do a whole hell of a lot more with that. We just don't have a lot of historical data to go off of here. And I'm not going to call this peak right here, right? That's completely irrational. I don't think that's a really trustworthy data point. Yeah, it's a painted picture of a chart that we can go off of with horizontals and shit, but it doesn't give me enough to trust that price action historically. It just doesn't. I'll give you more. I'll give you targets once we have more data to go off of. Love you too, Alex Guzman. Dash. Let's do Dash. Dash. I love Dash. $310. Ha! Classic. Random one. I've already charted it. So we are going to move this below the end of the previous market cycle. It's almost on a full retrace. My Lanta. So let's go to the 1 day. I'm doing Poloniex because they have a lot of data historically on Dash. And let's find a trend line. I'm going to delete this here. It's going to try to get back above this trend line. It's right at it right now. I want to know, I had an alarm set, when it's crossed this line. RSI on the daily is at 29. No divs. It's either 618 or 786 zone of the entire chart. Yeah, 786-ish. It should bounce here, guys. It's right kind of at the 786. Yeah, it's below it, but this is grossly oversold. Dash is a masternode privacy coin with some elements of speed and great backing and a very low supply. And Amanda B. Johnson. Actually, with Amanda B. Johnson. I would buy the shit out of this right now. I went to write Dash and I wrote Dan. Lieutenant Dan. Buy this shit. Take it up to 974. 786s go to 382s. Right on the trend line. Yeah, it can dump below, jump right back above, and I think it will. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. There you go. There's your trend line where it bounced off of. Screw this trend line. This wick to this wick to this wick. Like some Bisquick. Yeah. Buy the shit out of that and hold it. It's a Masternode coin, for fuck's sake. It's probably the best Masternode coin. Or the granddaddy of them all, excuse me.
We wasted the good surprise on you.
One giraffe, that's what I'm talking about. Can't forget Juan. Freaking love that coin in conjunction with Aeon and ICX. Yeah, now I already did Juan. This has helped quite a bit with the fibs. Thanks, Noah. Lotso Turnbull. You welcome, homie. Whoa! Fox News Live HD, President Trump breaking news. Did he have sex with that woman? Christina Mendel. I gotta see what this is. What's the breaking news? Did he shit post on Twitter again? That's the shit I like. All right.
That's the only issue, which is you want to.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Spam. I got spammed live on my own stream by a little old lady in a motorized scooter, and I didn't even see it coming. Yeah, Michael, I would say potentially. Fucking BTS. I just charted this the other day. I said buy on the trend line. It didn't even. It rounded right before it. That's just a coin trolling the shit out you. I'm so pissed. Went from 1,300 to 2,300 like it was nothing. Just missed the buy zone. I think it did. I haven't checked my Poloniex to see if it filled. Let me look at my ideas published. For the private group. Yeah. Buying the one-day trend line. Didn't get there. Are you fucking kidding me? Did sub get there? I don't even check my entries. I just set them and forget them. It still could. It could, Michael, but I think we'll get a bounce first, man. That's all I'm asking for. Not that it even will. It could go sideways for a while. You never know. It's just got to crawl its way to consensus. Once consensus happens, I think we'll have a crazy-ass bull run in May. So, this has been a good stream. I love you guys. It's been an hour and 49 minutes. And what time is it? It's 8:40. Oh, shit, Bart. My bad, dude. We're supposed to have a conference call. All right. I'm gonna head out now, guys. If you have any questions, tweet at me. Stay safe, stay profitable. You know, stick to your defined entries, trade criteria, and all that jazz people tell you. Do the damn thing. One love.